Monday, literally millions of people bowed their heads and observed a moment of silence, marking the time 1 year ago when an earthquake triggered that massive tsunami. Our own Susan Hirasuna is in Japan. She's been there all week. She's been attending more memorials, traveling the country, and she joins us now live by phone. Susan?
Yes, so we are now outside Ofinato, where we spoke to you last, and this is a little fishing village, actually. It's quite remarkable in that it is right on the sea, and in fact, a year ago, this ryokan, as they call it, was devastated by the tsunami. The bottom floors were damaged heavily, and it's kind of surprising because this hotel, this ryokan, is actually on a bit of a hill, so it's quite impressive that the sea could rise up this high and do the damage that it did. However, that being said, here it is a year later, and we're here. And, you know, the commemoration ceremonies yesterday were quite remarkable. You really couldn't go very far on the coast without stumbling onto yet another commemoration ceremony. We were traveling between Ofinato and Kesennuma, which is about 20 miles down the coast a bit. We wanted to see this boat. Actually, it's not a boat, it's a ship. It's like a cargo ship that wound up quite a bit inland. As we were leaving that ship, we drove back up the coast to go back to our hotel, and we came upon this beautiful scene. It's this little shopping area outside of Kesennuma, and they had made their candles. They had lit candles in the shape of a 311, which of course marks the anniversary date of the earthquake and tsunami, and then the character for happiness, and then 117, which is actually the anniversary date for Kobe earthquake. Apparently, the survivors of Kobe were quite instrumental and quite helpful to those in this particular area of Kesennuma, and so they were basically thanking them as well as marking the anniversary. So it's been an emotional day, to say the least, you know, because everywhere you go, there are people who are remembering their dead. And the most remarkable thing is, of course, you just cannot go anywhere without having someone tell you their story. Last night we got to the ryokan, and we were having dinner. And, of course, I don't speak Japanese, so my translator was telling me that one of the women at the dining room table comes here regularly from Tokyo, this tiny little village, because her daughter was going to the university that's nearby, and she has never been accounted for. So after a year, her body has not been accounted for. So she feels the need to come here once a month, once every other month, to be closer to her daughter, to learn more about how she lived her life, why she loved being here. Apparently the daughter had aspirations to be a marine biologist. So this is her way of coming back and marking her daughter's death, and also, getting to know her daughter the last year of her life. So
in your week of traveling in that part of the country, is it possible to say what your strongest impressions are, the strongest memories or sentiments that you've felt?
You know, my trip started in Tokyo, and the Japanese way of doing things is there's a lot of meetings. So my first few days, it just felt like all I did was meetings, and I didn't actually get to what we would call more of the affected areas, the disaster areas of this part of the country, the northeastern part of the country. And that was kind of frustrating to me. You know, I told you last night that my hotel was right near the TEPCO building, and I thought, gosh, it's just so interesting. We're getting so close to the anniversary. There's no real sign of protest. Police were out front, but that was it. Apparently yesterday there was indeed a massive protest outside of TEPCO. But up to a couple of days ago, I just really hadn't seen anything that suggested that the country hadn't fully recovered. And now, of course, this area that we've traveled between Minami Sanriku and Ofinato, it's about 70, 80 miles or so. So it's a great distance that we've traveled between these two cities. And now, of course, you just can't go very far at all before you see the effects of the tsunami. Areas that are either untouched or they've cleared them to the point where there's nothing there but, just a little hint of the foundation.
Well, Susan, thank you for that live report. While you've been talking here, we've been showing, of course, all the video.